Let's talk about the next play. If any of you are familiar with Coach K, Coach K was, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but he was the head basketball coach at Duke for a long time and is very famous. I think he actually broke the record for wins in the NCAA. Somebody passed him recently, but he was one of the winningest coaches in the NCAA basketball world, and just incredibly successful, won some national championships. But he has this philosophy that he calls next play. And I think it's important. There's a business application as well as a basketball application. In the basketball world, next play is if a player makes a mistake in a moment, they move on to the next play. His coaching is don't get focused on that mistake that you made in the moment. Move on to the next play. It's not that you don't forget this thing. You just don't focus on it. You don't let it bring you down. You don't get distracted by the fact that you made a mistake. You rather focus on the next play so that that next exchange, whether it be passing, dribbling, or otherwise, playing defense, is done with a high level of execution, a high level of excellence. And it's no different in the business world. You can get going through the course of a day. You're making many, many, many micro decisions, some macro decisions, but you're doing that all day long. If you think about it, your entire day is just a matter of processing information, making decisions based on that information. Hopefully the information that you're gathering is really informing your decision-making ability in a good way. But sometimes you make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you can't dwell on those mistakes. If you make mistakes that cause whatever circumstance or whatever outcome that might be negative to your business, negative to you personally, you just move on to the next thing. Now, you may want to go back and revisit those things, but don't do it in the moment. Don't dwell. Don't get caught up in that negative, stinking thinking, as they say. Move on to the next thing, execute, make another decision and another decision and another decision. You can do something that's called replay the call. You can go back at the end of the day and replay the call. So you can replay those things those decisions that you made that weren't the best. They didn't have the best outcomes. You can also replay the call with the good stuff. But anyway, the point of this particular short spot here is think about that next play mentality, that next play philosophy, that next play principle that Coach K uses. I think it has some merit because he won over north of 1,000 basketball games. He coached teams to win over 1,000 basketball games in the NCAA at the highest level. He was incredibly successful. So next play has some real merit, I believe. Put into practice in your life. Take care. We'll talk again soon.